Hey, how's it going, guys? Captain Kuba here, and welcome back to another reaction video. I know it's been a while since I've done one of these member hangouts. I did do a Q&A last week. Let me turn this audio off. Yeah, good. I did do a type of a Q&A last week, so if you guys want to check that out, go to my videos and just check it out. I did it with my members. And now I'm doing another member hangouts. We're going to be watching this prolific God of War video that a lot of you guys have been wanting me to watch for the longest time. It's called The Man Who Broke God of War. This video was released, as you can see, 3 months ago. It's got almost 3 million views, and apparently is one of the greatest God of War videos ever made. I checked a little bit about the channel, ThaRixer, and apparently he does, I tell stories about speedrunning. That's what he does. Like, he makes videos about speedrunning, which is an interesting concept. You know, you get video essays, you get game theories and stuff. This channel dedicates itself to just uploading videos about speedrun videos. It's interesting. I don't know. I myself am not the biggest fan of speedrunning. It's not that I have anything against it. Honey, she's not gonna wake up. Give me a sec. You wanna give me your phone? You wanna give me your phone in case you don't wake up? Sure. Okay. Sorry about that, guys. Connery has this problem when she's asleep that she just does not hear the alarm, right? So whenever I'm streaming, I can hear it, and she's got the loudest alarm to wake up, but she doesn't wake up either. But anyway, I was just saying, like, check out his channel. I'm not the biggest speedrunning fan. I don't really understand the speedrunning community. I did a couple speedruns for God of War 1, 2, and 3, I believe. But they weren't really professional speedruns. Like, it was, I finished it like in the 3 hours or something. I don't know any glitches or anything like that. But if you like speedrunning, definitely check out this guy. He seems, you know, like he knows what he's talking about. So we're gonna be checking out his video on God of War. Matthew, thank you so much for becoming a Spartan soldier, man. I appreciate the support. So, without further ado, let's freaking do it. And at the end, we can talk about a little bit the whole issue with God of War Ragnarok and
when God of War was released
and all that, because it's a fucking shit show, man. Like, there's new leaks and stuff. But for now, let's put aside all of that leaker, stupid ass information about the game being shown tomorrow. I'm so tired of that talk. I really am. And let's just relax by watching a nice video about speedrunning, okay? Maybe we'll enjoy it. Alright, let's do this. And I want to say thank you to all the members who are here in the channel. Let me just address you guys real quick. I realized I didn't. Kratos the Inevitable, Iman R, Daniel Kenya, my #1 fan right there, Mikey Well, Stephen McDonald, King Emil, was deleted by Nightbot, because he said, yo. Oh well. Let me see if I'm missing anyone else. Mo Beast Gaming, what's up, man? How you doing? I think that's all of them. Oh, Anortex. Dude, it's been a while, man. Pio's tweets are amazing with the lack of news. Pio's insane. I love Pio, but he's insane, man. Alright, so let's do it.
When God of War was released in March 2005
Let me know if the audio's
people had interest in speedrunning the game almost immediately. Only a week after the game came out, a thread would be created on the speedrun-focused website Speed Demos Archive. Multiple users on the forum showed interest in creating a full segmented speedrun of the game. God of War, however, posed a severe challenge to anyone wanting to speedrun it. The game can be extremely challenging, and tactics for getting through the game easier were not exactly
Stephen McDowell. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm really bad at reading, okay?
exactly developed. Starting right from the game's inception in 2005, a small handful of players took on the challenge of speedrunning this brutal game. Runs would be performed that showcased impressive strategies, glitches, and shortcuts that beat the game faster than ever before. In the early years of God of War speedrunning,
how is he getting this footage? Like, I would need this to make my video. Like, if I had this type of footage, like, my videos would be so much better. I'm guessing he's modding the game or something. Maybe not him, but someone else. But I love these scenery shots. I would love to have clips like these.
One run stood out. That came from a player that stood out.
You never even played the game, Lego? I'm about to time you out, dude. I'm about to time you out.
A person who had such a profound impact on the way the game would be played for many years to come. welcome to episode 3 of this series. Today, we're gonna take a look at the man who broke God of War in half. But first, a word from our sponsor. Man, how'd I end up in this rotten sewer? This
He's in the sewers of Athens. Nice.
place stinks. Hey Slim, why don't you just change your location? Easy for you to say. I'm stuck down here. Well, it's easy. Just use NordVPN. With NordVPN, you can change your location to anywhere you want. This is useful if specific songs, movies, or other things only show in certain countries. This is really helpful for my own research, but also for personal enjoyment, since sometimes underground songs don't always like showing up on YouTube for me. If you're interested in the service and want to show support to the channel, you can use the link that's on screen right now or in the description to begin your 2-year plan. Start using NordVPN today by heading on over to nordvpn.com/ThaRixer. If you're unhappy with your purchase, there's a 30-day money-back guarantee that has you covered. Again, that's nordvpn.com/ThaRixer.
I'm actually going to take this chance to just ask you guys. I'm not meaning to downplay his sponsorship. Like, maybe this is how he makes his money. And if you guys are interested in a VPN, definitely check it out. I'm sure it's a good deal. But I wanted to ask you guys about sponsorships, because that's something I don't really do that much. And honestly, it's because I don't like to deal with the whole conversations I have to do with the companies. Like, they always send me emails like, I don't want to fucking do this. But I think that's mostly because I myself don't really engage with sponsorships when I see them in videos. Do you guys, like, engage with sponsorships? Is that something you'd be okay with me doing? I don't know. I'm open to it, but it's just something that I'm kind of 50-50 on. Hey, Adeline, how you doing, man? I didn't use anyone's sponsor codes. Yeah, that's what I mean. It's just, it's one of those things that I don't like doing. I'm in there for the video. I'm not there for a sponsorship, right? But I understand, YouTubers have to make a living too, Get your bag, dude. I actually do know that saying. I understood that reference.
To fill the gaps if you haven't played the original God of War, or if it's been a while, allow me to briefly show you the game's level order, so you're up to speed. Kratos' goal is to acquire Pandora's Box, an artifact that allegedly has the power to slay a god, which he plans to use against Ares, the god of war. To acquire Pandora's Box, Kratos has a long journey ahead of him. You start in the Aegean Sea, where you take down the Big Hydra. You then make your way through the city of Athens, and arrive at the Temple of the Oracle. You then traverse the Athens sewers, and enter the Desert of Lost Souls, where you find Kronos, the Titan, who has Pandora's temple fixated on his back. The majority of the game takes place inside of the temple, and within it, Kratos is faced with 3 trap-filled gauntlets: Challenge of Atlas, Challenge of Poseidon, and Challenge of Hades. Once cleared, you proceed to the Cliffs of Madness. At the end of the cliffs, you get to the Architect's Tomb and acquire Pandora's Box. Ares, the god of war, then lunges a pillar all the way from Athens to the temple, impaling Kratos, sending him to the underworld. You then fight your way through Hades and climb the giant rope at the end, so you can literally climb your way out of hell. You arrive at the ruined temple of the Oracle, and finally face off against Ares. Upon his defeat, you sit on the throne as the new god of war, and that's the game. Now, I made that all sound fairly quick, but God of War can be a pretty long game due to its difficulty and large areas you have to traverse. The first person who decided to record their speedrun of God of War would be Prism, who got a segmented time of 2:49:51, using the in-game timer and playing on God mode, the game's hardest difficulty.
What? On God mode? I think I might have beaten God mode once in my life. I don't have any recollection of it, and maybe it's because the game broke me. Literally, God of War 1 is the hardest game in the series, and I think I'm able to get right up until the very last part, or like the part that comes before the last part, and that is like fighting the clones. I cannot do that part. The clones just kill me, dude. I might try it again in the future, but holy crap, how the hell did he do that? I don't even know.
Released his run on October 1st, 2005.
How did he even record it?
Half a year after the game came out. His run was a decent showing for the time, although it was more or less a speedy casual playthrough with no notable skips or shortcuts.
Wait, it's a normal speedy playthrough, he said? And he got like 2 hours on God mode? I want to see how much it took Speedrun 4 hours. So, yeah, his is a normal speedy playthrough, as he said, but mine was 4 hours. I don't call that normal, okay? But maybe I'm wrong. Hold on, it's this one, yeah. I will try God mode. I'll let you know if I break my console. More like your controller, dude. In God of War 1, you can skip a few combat encounters. Yeah, but through glitches, right? Nothing, you know,
regardless,
nothing,
not bad.
It's super crazy. It's not something you can do in the game itself.
Another runner by the name of Ball of Snow would do his own segmented speedrun in 2006 and improve on Prism's time with a 2:16:23. Ball of Snow also played the game on God mode and completed his run in 20 segments as opposed to Prism's 17. Ball of Snow's time save came from cleaning up most of the sloppiness of Prism's run, and also through a sequence break in Challenge of Hades that saved around 6 minutes.
Damn.
The run got a lot of positive feedback, and was generally viewed in high regard. The run still persists on Speed Demo's archive and archive.org, where someone was so impressed by the run, they decided to give it a review and a 5-star rating. The reviewer's name was God Mode God, and was a God of War player who mainly focused on challenge runs and no upgrade runs. He was rather impressed with Ball of Snow's
Damn, Kuba, you're gonna gouge your eye out. Can you guys do? Kanaruki hates it when I do it, but I can actually flip my eyelids. I don't know if you guys want to do. I don't know if you guys want to see that freak show now, but I'll let you guys answer
tactics and how the various fights in the game were handled expertly. Entering the year 2007, God Mode God would create a speedrun-focused thread over at GameSpot.
Lego Man, like, show us. All right, you know what? Lego Man has spoken. Okay. This is what you get in the Captain Kuba channel. This is what you get. Just juvenile crap.
On a forum called the Ultimate God of War Union,
New
where
sub
players
goal.
would share their accomplishments and tactics for God of War 1 and 2. God Mode God was sort of the figurehead of the scene at the time. Going under the name The Creeper on the forums, he was one of the main people establishing proper rule sets, listing times, posting strategies, and welcoming newcomers. The forum was rather small, and didn't contain many members, but the community was tight-knit, with a shared interest for a classic PS2 franchise. But one night, a new user joined the forum, and he went by Satvara.
He's the chosen one.
The entry post from this new user went as follows. Speedruns. It's good I found this board. I've done some speedrunning myself. I started playing God of War 1 2 or 3 months ago, and after I had unlocked everything, I decided to personally challenge myself to a time attack. I played under New Game / Hero settings, and reached the final save in 1:21:41. It wasn't perfect or anything, and I probably should have spent more time with it. Additionally, some of the videos linked here had some intriguing and useful strategies I didn't use. Nevertheless, I'm still satisfied with my time overall. Yeah, who wouldn't be with a time like that? This Satvara person is claiming a time 55 minutes faster than Ball of Snow's 2:16.
Holy crap.
Now, of course, there was no video to go along with this claim, so forum users were perhaps a bit skeptical. After all, Satvara was new to the forums and had no credibility. God Mode God welcomed Satvara to the forum, and upon seeing his supposed time of 1:21, his reaction was not bad, not really knowing what to say to such a suspicious claim. On the internet, anybody can technically claim whatever they want.
It's interesting how the internet wasn't as toxic back then. At least it doesn't seem like that. This guy came out with no proof. Did he say he brought? I don't think he brought a video with him. He said, "Oh, I did it in 1 hour and 20 minutes or something." And the other guy replied, "Not bad." If that was in today's day and age, like, it would be like, "Shut the fuck up! You're a fucking liar!" Like, it'd be so toxic, man. Satvara is a God of War speedrun legend. That's what I mean, user. I don't really know anything about speedrunning myself, right? I don't know any of these guys, but I do find it impressive how people can beat these games so fast, right? No, he didn't have any proof. Okay, yeah, that's what I thought.
At this point, speedrunners are all too familiar with various YouTube comments of
30
people
minutes.
claiming outlandish times. It was hard to tell whether Satvara was legit or just some random troll looking to cause a stir. Satvara also said in his initial post that his run was missing a couple of strategies he didn't know about. God Mode God and another user, Mystery Man, then started guessing time estimates of how low the time could go had he used those strategies he said he was missing. Now, keep in mind,
Where's the
these
proof?
two users didn't even know what strategies would have taken place for a 121, let alone even lower than that. This, of course, annoyed Satvara, and tensions would begin to rise on the forum.
You know what? I officially like this channel. I really do, because I'm a big guy. I'm a guy who's big on history. I love listening to history books and stuff like that. And this is interesting. This is a side of the gaming history that doesn't really get covered that much. It's not just speedrunning, but it's like he's talking about the people who made the speedrun. And in the way he's talking about them is like, you know, this guy he brought the speedrun until this guy came. And then you learn about Satvara or whatever his name is. It's cool. It's like you're getting a history lesson about speedrunning. It's really interesting.
Allow me to reenact Satvara's
big
response
guy.
to these posts in dramatic fashion. I think it's time I laid my cards out on the table. I can't help but laugh at the fact that you guys are making time estimates based on a time you know nothing about. A 121 is impossible, and both of you have really no idea how impossible it is. You could try and try, but you would never come close. At least with what you know. God Mode God would respond.
Should have just done what I intended in my last post, which was to mention how perfectly Ball of Snow did God Mode. It doesn't matter how good you aren't doing much better even on Hero. I try not to immediately shoot down newcomers anymore, as I often would if they made such claims. I even let you buy without asking for proof and the like, which is unlike me. You got lucky.
Is it? You really should have, because your not bad comment almost made me think you were an idiot. I seriously contemplating never coming back here and perhaps going somewhere else.
I take it back. I said that the internet wasn't as toxic back then. That took a 180 immediately, okay? Like, the toxicity came out so fast. But I want to see it. I want to see the proof.
But I think I'll be sticking around now. And get that SDA run out of your head. You won't be needing it anymore.
We'll see soon enough.
Don't forget, however, that I'm here to give back, and it's only because I admire what you're trying to build here. If you so will it, we'll move forward together. If not, so be it.
Enough talk.
The discussion would continue like this into the night. And by now, other users of the forum were also beginning to believe that Satvara's claim was fraudulent. What was with all the talk? Where was the proof? I mean, surely, this was all just one big bluff. Right?
Oh boy.
After a few days of silence from Satvara, he would return back to the forum, delivering the goods. The videos to his run were posted, slowly but surely, part by part. This is when everyone started to realize the genius that is Satvara. Not only was his claim of 121 legit, the glitches and strategies used to get the time were all discovered independently.
Part by part, doesn't that break the rules? Because I mean, I did this speedrun myself, and like one of the rules was like the video could not be stopped or edited or anything like that. How can you send it part by part? I don't understand. Like, maybe it's because back then you couldn't upload larger files. I'm confused. That's all I'm saying. I'm not doubting him or anything. It's just odd that he uploaded it part by part, right? These two are gonna go at go at it like Goku and Vegeta. It kind of sounds like it, yeah. You could watch the ThaRixer speedrun at ESA. It's so entertaining. No, I really like his style of video making. He's really good.
No prior reference, such as the runs from Prism or Ball of Snow, was ever used. Satvara, in 2007, had virtually cracked God of War open, all in complete isolation.
Dude, I could only hope to ever get to a level of editing like this guy. Like, his usage of background music is just beautiful, man. I need to do something like that. I need to learn how to implement music much better into my videos. Like, the way he's doing it, like, it creates emotion, dude. Listen to this.
Bro. Not only was his claim of 121 legit, the glitches and strategies used to get the time were all discovered independently. No prior reference, such as the runs from Prism or Ball of Snow, was ever used. Satvara, in 2007, had virtually cracked God of War open, all in complete isolation.
Holy crap. How? How do people even learn about these things? Damn. He's gonna make that.
The run was absolutely astounding. Satvara had completely flipped the game on its head, all by himself, and several forum users went from skeptical to extremely impressed very quickly. But what was it that Satvara was doing over runners prior that put his time in a league of his own? Let's take a deeper look at Satvara's 121 to see where he managed to save so much time. Most runners in the early days of God of War speedrunning insisted on playing on God mode, since it was viewed as the most skillful way to play through the game. But difficulty practically didn't matter after Satvara's run, as he found one of, if not, the most impactful glitch in the entire game: the infinite regenerating magic glitch. Not too long after you arrive in Athens, you have to engage in a tutorial fight against a Medusa. Upon defeating it, you acquire Medusa's Gaze, a magic spell you can cast to stone enemies. The game wants you to try the spell out on some Minotaur enemies, but for the purpose of the tutorial, you are granted infinitely regenerating magic to try the spell out as much as you'd like.
He's gonna skip this room and like carry the infinite magic throughout. Is that where this is going? I'm guessing this is it. Oh my god. The videos was uploaded part by part just as proof. The run wasn't accepted back then because it was unique. It was a unique run out of the ordinary. Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mikey Wells. They learn the mechanics so well and spend a lot of time playing with those mechanics until they break the game. Easy to say, hella hard to achieve. Yeah.
Instead of defeating the enemies, Satvara makes his way to a spot where he can clip out of bounds. And after some crafty seam walking and tricky jumps, Satvara escapes the tutorial room. The game still assumes Kratos to be in the tutorial fight, and thus, you now have infinitely regenerating magic for the rest of the game.
Dude.
It didn't matter much whether Satvara was on hero or god mode, otherwise difficult fights became trivial. Magic took care of everything. There was also no need to gather Phoenix feathers to increase your magic meter, something that both Prism and Ball of Snow had to do all over the game. This is by far one of the most groundbreaking glitches in the history of the game, saving time virtually everywhere in the run. Satvara had discovered two big movement techniques that he used throughout his run to reach higher and further places. A standard high jump was already a known discovery in 2006, but Satvara had found an improved version using Poseidon's Rage in the air to reach higher places in multiple spots. One of the places where this saved the most amount of time was in Cliffs of Madness. Normally, you need to acquire 2 necklaces to extend a bridge fully to make it across. Satvara, however, only got 1 necklace to extend the bridge to its midway point.
Those things...
He then used...
I might have said this before, but these things always look to me like erasers, like the ones you get in school. I don't know if kids these days use erasers or they have iPads or something. You can tell that I'm an older generation guy. But they always looked like erasers to me, and I would always bite into them in school. I wouldn't eat them, but I would I just bite into them or just stab them with pencils. I'm sure everybody did.
Only got 1 necklace to extend the bridge to its midway point. He then used a Poseidon's Rage high jump to make it to the upper area, jumped across, and used another Poseidon's Rage high jump to make it to the other side, skipping the second necklace and saving over 8 minutes in total.
Holy crap.
The other movement technique Satvara had discovered was a way to extend Kratos' jump to gain further distance by swinging the Blades of Chaos in midair. At Athens Town Square, Satvara used this technique to reach the bridge in the middle of the plaza early. This jump might not look like much, until you realize that this entirely skips the level Rooftops of Athens, and it also skips the collection of the magic Zeus's Fury, saving over 11 minutes. The same long jump technique was used in Challenge of Atlas to skip an underground section where you have to fight a bunch of enemies on a rope. Satvara simply did a long jump from a certain height of the rope that descended into the cave, and collected the Shield of Hades early. This saved almost 2 minutes. The forced fight thereafter was quickly taken care of with Infinite Magic, Poseidon's Rage level 2, and Blade combos. In order to proceed further into Challenge of Atlas, a second shield is needed for further progression. And Satvara had found a big shortcut for this one too.
One day Amazon delivery be like, it'll never happen, man. I have Amazon Prime. I don't think I've ever gotten something like the next day. And I think you get your money back, but I just don't want to go through the deal of just sending an email like, oh, you didn't get my stuff.
A Poseidon's Rage high jump was sufficient in reaching the ledge where the second shield is located, saving another minute and a half over the game's intended path. Right after obtaining the infinite magic, you are required to climb a set of walls infested with enemies until you reach a statue you need to push over. Satvara was able to skip the walls entirely with some crafty double jumps to reach the statue before intended. A quick 20-second save. When you first set foot in Challenge of Hades, you have to fight a bunch of centaurs to open a door to a maze. You then enter the maze, where you're required to defeat all of the enemies to open the final door to progress. This is effectively what
Greggy, what's up, man?
in his run. But the previously mentioned sequence break that Ball of Snow had used was a way of clipping through the top of the maze due to some dodgy collision, saving over 6 minutes on Prism. Satvara, however, had found an even better way all on his own, that skipped both fighting the centaurs and entering the maze. A standard high jump was enough to ledge grab the platform where the button at the end of the maze was located. Easy money for an additional 3 minutes. To top it all off, Satvara managed to skip a ton of forced fights by finding clever ways of getting around the fight triggers. The introductory fight against the satyrs in Cliffs of Madness was skipped with a Poseidon's Rage high jump.
Holy.
Also in Cliffs of Madness, a fight inside of a cave was bypassed with a
Yo, DJ, Aesir? Like the gods? What's up, dude? Welcome to King of the Gods. Thank you so much, dude. I appreciate the support. That's insane. Thank you so much, man. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. It means a lot.
A long jump. The infamous conveyor belt fight against the Harpies in the Architect's Tomb was skipped by hugging the corner of the room and avoiding the fight trigger. This skip was actually already found by someone else in 2006.
That's a thing? Wait, I honestly want to learn how to do that. That is one of the toughest parts in the game.
By hugging the corner of the room and avoiding the fight trigger. This skip was actually already found by someone else in 2006, but Satvara had also found it by himself.
I didn't even know you could do that. And I freaking hate that part. I'm going to start using it whenever I play God of War 1 again. Because that's a simple one. You just gotta not activate the enemies by hugging the wall. That's very simple. I can do that. That's not a big deal. That's really a thing. It takes practice, but you can do it. It seemed pretty easy, but I'm sure it's gonna take
Finally,
a while.
A big clash against some Cyclops and Minotaurs in the ruined Temple of the Oracle was avoided by just barely jumping over the fight trigger. All of these aforementioned fights would otherwise take a minute or two each, so Satvara gained some hefty time throughout the run from avoiding them.
I guess the only speedrunning tactic I know in God of War was taught to me by you guys when I did my first speedrun, and it's a simple one. It's what he was doing there, like you roll, you press square, you roll again. Like I've actually that's how I play the older God of War games now. Like that's how I do it, and it kind of changes how you. That's not how you're meant to play the game, but that's how I end up playing now. Trust me.
As Satvara
it only
rolled
looks
his
easy.
way
Okay.
through Mount Olympus, he had finished his segmented run. The time at the final save point was truthful to his original post. 1:21:41, done in August 2007. If there was any doubts as to whether or not Satvara's run was actually done in isolation, there are a very few select instances where Ball of Snow's run actually has superior strategies. Strategies Satvara could have utilized had he chosen to look up the run. The two notable points where Satvara's run is worse is in the Aegean Sea when fighting the Hydra, and using Rage of the Gods against a group of archers in Cliffs of Madness when Army of Hades was the better choice. Despite these tiny flaws, the run completely shattered expectations. People on the Ultimate God of War Union forum were floored as to how Satvara was able to dismantle the game in so many different ways, all on his own. God Mode God still did not approve of Satvara's behavior coming into the forum, but decided to give credit where credit is due.
Okay, good.
His run was a marvel. Satvara's reasoning behind showing the run to the Ultimate God of War Union...
Yes, Satvara. I don't know how to pronounce his name. He really did come in very cocky, right? He didn't come in humble. And, I mean, how could you when you reduce, 55 minutes from a speedrun? That's insane. Like, you get to be cocky there, but he was cocky. What is this? I almost said it's a mic. It's a video on speedrunning God of War 1. It's really interesting, actually. Off topic, Kuba. But as a fellow Canadian, do you like Tim Hortons? I love Tim Hortons. I love their little, breakfast sandwiches. I love the double, ice caps. I prefer Tim Hortons over Starbucks. But yeah, it's not the most popular opinion, but it's mine at least.
Rather than Speed Demo's archive, was a matter of acceptance. Satvara notably did not submit his run to SDA for a couple of reasons. SDA did not allow out-of-bounds glitches back in 2007. And while Kratos technically never leaves the intended game area in his 121, Satvara envisioned a long and drawn-out discussion about what was and wasn't out of bounds. Satvara sensed that the moderation team over at SDA simply did not know God of War to the extent he did, so he didn't bother submitting. The infinite regenerating magic glitch was also seen as an exploit so huge a separate category was in the discussion on the forums if a submission was to happen. Satvara felt that SDA's rule set was hindering the game from its potential. He felt that glitches and sequence breaks were both valid in beating the game as quickly as possible. A foreshadowing to the way we view speedrunning today, with glitches being one of the main draws for the culture as a whole.
Wait. Okay, so I don't really follow. Again, I don't follow the whole speedrunning thing. Is he saying that with God of War 1, this guy changed the speedrunning game with God of War 1? Like it used to be, you don't do those types of glitches, but after God of War 1 and Satvara, those glitches became like its own separate categories. Because I know that's when I submitted mine, it was like, zero glitches speedrun or like any glitches or something. Like there's different categories now. Like, is that what he's saying, that with God of War 1 and Satvara, the speedrunning game changed? Did God of War revolutionize speedrunning as well? Naboy, Captain Kuba, remember me from Twitter? Naboy, anyway, it turns out to be just a blog post without state of play. Take a look at Tom Herdensor's tweets today. Yeah, first of all, thank you for the super chat. But dude, I'm trying to detach myself from the hype of the game. I'm just doing my own thing. I still love God of War, but whenever they show it, they show it. It's not healthy for me anymore to be thinking about, oh my god, it's gonna get shown. It's not healthy anymore. So I'm taking it easy. If something gets shown tomorrow, very well. If not, oh well,
The Ultimate God of War Union seemed more in line with this way of thinking, which is why he chose to reveal his run over.
I should also say that I think it's another one of my members, or he used to be a member, I don't know. His name is Publius2K or something. He tweeted at me that what Sony's doing with God of War is called guerrilla marketing, which is like they're just letting the hype itself be the marketing. They're not doing anything. If it is true that they're doing a blog post tomorrow, that's exactly what they're doing. They're not really putting that much money into it because the game doesn't need it. The game has hype. So in a way, our hype is to blame for us not getting any news or anything, any trailers or anything like that. Like the game is gonna sell billions and billions of copies. So Sony's like, why put so much money and effort and time into marketing? Let's just have Cory Barlog do a couple tweets with a couple dots and it'll drive people crazy, right? So that's why I'm not really covering anymore. I'm not covering rumors. I'm not covering leaks anymore. For one thing, it's not as exciting, and it kind of, it's supporting this idea of like, don't do any marketing, right?
Over there. Overall, though, Satvara was happy enough with the result of 121, and eventually shifted his focus more towards glitching and sequence breaking following the completion of his run. Satvara was not done just yet. In late 2007 and 2008, Satvara went on what I can only describe as a killing spree when it came to God of War glitches.
Holy crap. Wait, hold on, I gotta read Adelin's comment because I asked about it. Exactly, it became a speedrun category named any percentage, not only because God of War, but it had a bit impact. Finished the game as quickly as possible with hard glitches, but no cheats. Gotcha, okay. I'll be honest, when I was younger and I heard gaming speedruns, I thought of God of War. I never even imagined about speedrunning, but once I came to Canada, I saw that it was a big thing, and I could never get into it. It's not my style of play, but I know people are really big on it.
After his groundbreaking performance, Satvara still felt that the game had more room for breakthroughs. I apologize for the upcoming 2008 video quality, but it wouldn't be an authentic speedrun documentary without it, if you ask me. One of his first major discoveries was a way to skip the desert sirens in the Desert of Lost Souls. Athena demands that you hunt down the 3 sirens that are roaming the desert in order to proceed through a small ruined temple. Satvara had figured out a way to get into the temple early by using the move Hermes Rush in the air to clip through some collision on a wall, completely skipping killing the desert sirens, saving around 2 minutes. Satvara's Gates of Athens skip was now further extended with a crazy looking out of bounds to save even more time. More minutes were gained here due to skipping knocking over the statue and the handful of fights that followed straight afterwards. When you first reach Pandora's temple, you must speak with a gatekeeper that can open the entrance for Kratos. You then fight some big Cyclops enemies and proceed into the temple. Satvara was able to discover a way to skip both of these requirements by using a grounded Hermes Rush to wedge himself between a chest and a wall. He then double jumped behind the gate to reach the stairs early, saving nearly 3 minutes.
That's what I mean. How do people do this? How do they? Because it's not something you discover. It's something that you have a suspicion about, and then you go and make it happen. He thought like, oh, what if there's something in between the box, the chest, and the wall? And he figured it out. How do people figure that stuff out? Like, I'm gonna press all the buttons in this certain order, and maybe it'll open a way and it'll make it faster. How do people do that?
This one seems to have garnered some attention within the mighty YouTube algorithm. Not bad for an old skip from 2008. One of Satvara's biggest contributions to the game around this time was a huge sequence break discovered in the very first level, the Aegean Sea. In a casual playthrough, after you climb the ship's mast, you're intended to make your way over to a second ship by sliding along a rope. On this other ship is where you obtain Poseidon's Rage, fight the big Hydra, and get a key for your troubles. You're meant to use this key on a door to reach the end of the level, but Satvara had found a pretty ridiculous jump to skip the large detour. Watch and observe.
No. No. You mad lad. What? Holy crap.
A massive leap from the ship's mast down to a very thin ledge below. If you're just too far left, you fall and die. And if you're just too far right, you'll clip back in bounds. Precision is the name of the game.
How? How do they do this? Yo, Skynet, thank you so much for becoming a member, dude. I appreciate it. Welcome to the Spartan Soldiers. Thank you for the support of the channel, man. Holy crap.
Satvara then jumps along the out-of-bounds seam and jumps over the locked door. While this skip does save over 4 minutes, it wasn't utilized in speedruns for the sole reason that Poseidon's Rage was a necessary component in making skips later in the game possible. But I did mention this one for a reason. More on it later.
Okay.
After breaking Poseidon's trident free from its crystallized cage, Kratos must traverse a section underwater. An out-of-bounds through a small roof was discovered at some point in 2006. But the potential wasn't fully realized until Satvara gave it another look in February 2008. In a 3-minute long YouTube video, Satvara completed the entirety of this underwater section from out of bounds by figuring out where all the loading triggers are located. This discovery must have been both difficult and annoying to solve, mainly due to you having to keep Kratos out of bounds the whole time while constantly fighting the uncooperative camera. All in all, a bit over a minute and a half was gained here. In the Temple of the Oracle, Kratos must save the Oracle from falling off a rope she's desperately clinging onto for dear life. In brutal God of War fashion, we can leave her hanging, by clipping through the door to the next section. Satvara once again used the aerial Hermes Rush move in a very specific spot to get through to the other side, skipping the act of saving the Oracle and the 2-minute cutscene that follows. Valuable time save, but extremely difficult to pull off.
What is he gonna get the time down to, like 30 minutes? How fast is he going now? How is this even possible?
The 2 shields that Satvara had to acquire in his run to open a door in Challenge of Atlas could now be skipped, and saved a huge amount of time. It was figured out that the Blade of Artemis could be used as a form of high jump, which proved useful in many spots. Satvara jumps onto a chest and holds triangle to perform an ascension. He then swings the Blade of Artemis and uses Poseidon's Rage in combination for more height. He's able to clip out of bounds and jump around the door that requires the 2 shields, saving nearly 5 minutes over his old run. As if that wasn't enough, Satvara found a better version of this skip a few months later that skipped to the very final door in Challenge of Atlas. Inside the infamous spike corridor in Pandora's Temple, you can clip out of bounds by hanging onto the side of one of the crushers. This requires a well-timed Poseidon's Rage high jump so that Kratos is able to grab the ledge of the Crusher when it's visible. After clipping out of bounds, you have to navigate Kratos blindly on a thin stretch of floor.
Skynet says, I feel good now. I feel bad, because it just shows how much of a crappy God of War player I am. Like, this is just depressing the crap out of me. Like, this guy timed a jump so well that he was able to hang on to one of the Crushers and just skip, what, 30 minutes? This guy has been skipping, like, minutes, like, oh my god. It all goes back to understanding the game's physics and trying to break every wall in the game. All you can do is try the most dumb thing you can think of and practice for hundreds of hours. Yeah, it's insane, but you practice with the hopes of eventually getting it. Just imagine all the times he practiced but didn't really get anywhere. It's like, this tactic didn't work, and he just moved on. All of those hours just went nowhere, you know. Let me see. Hey, Pratama, long time no see, man. Is this live or just uploaded video? Nope, it's live, man. What's up? I think he finished the game in like 40 minutes. I believe it.
Constantly in danger of falling down or accidentally clipping back in bounds. This is followed by another Poseidon's Rage high jump right through the floor of the exit tunnel of Challenge of Atlas. This way, you can go through Challenge of Atlas backwards to acquire the Architect's son's head without doing anything else in the level. When Kratos finally reaches Pandora's box, a 1-minute cutscene plays that informs him that he must bring the box back to Athens. Of course, Satvara found a way around this too. He simply went out of bounds using the Blade of Artemis and Poseidon's Rage in the room before the box. Seam walked on the outside of the room and free fell all the way down the shaft you're supposed to take the box through. After hitting the loading trigger at the bottom of the shaft, the game gives you Pandora's box despite never watching the cutscene. It seems that nothing was impossible for Satvara. I feel like I would be doing Satvara dirty if I didn't mention his God of War playthrough that skipped collecting all magics and the Blade of Artemis in late 2008. Some of the skips used for this playthrough I've already gone over, such as the Hydra 3 skip to bypass Poseidon's Rage, and a similar but improved out of bounds in the Medusa room to skip Medusa's
Is he still
gaze.
making playthroughs?
A puzzle later in Athens
speedruns? What's his name? Satvara.
Playthrough I've already gone over, such as the Hydra 3 skip to bypass Poseidon's Rage.
I think I missed it.
In late 2000.
Satvara, okay. I'm gonna start pronouncing his name right. The man deserves respect. Satvara. Only, like, oh, what? Dude, this guy needs more subs, man. You know what? I'm just gonna sub to him just because he's a legend, okay? Like just because he's a legend in the God of War community. I never knew this guy existed. This is super insane. I don't even like speedruns, but I'm just gonna support
Some of the
it.
skips used for this playthrough I've already gone over, such as the Hydra 3 skip to bypass Poseidon's Rage, and a similar but improved out of bounds in the Medusa room to skip Medusa's gaze. A puzzle later in Athens requires you to freeze a Minotaur onto a button with Medusa's gaze. So Satvara had to find a way around this room to complete the playthrough. It's hard to tell from the video quality, but Satvara did manage to find a skip by jumping over a pile of rubble outside of the puzzle room with the assistance of the attack Apollo's offensive.
ThaRixer replied to your tweet, by the way. Who's ThaRixer? Sounds familiar though. ThaRixer. Who is that? He sounds familiar though. He sadly is done with God of War. You'll see later why. Oh, okay.
For more length to clear the wall. Zeus's Fury was skipped straight afterwards with the classic long jump we saw from earlier. The Blade of Artemis was skipped with an obscure trick known as gliding, performed by using Hermes' rush into the wall and blocking to gain some rather strange momentum to effectively glide.
Oh! I'm a fucking moron. The dude that made the video, what did he say? Hold on, I'm like, that name sounds familiar. I'm watching his freaking video right now. Where is he? Yeah, I mean, oh sure, I won't monetize it. Don't worry about it. I mean, if that's, I don't know how to do it right now. Give me a sec. There you go.
trigger that gives you the blade. Finally, Army of Hades was skipped with an out of bounds in the Pandora's Guardian room, followed by some
I didn't read what he said though. Hold on. I read that part and I did it. I didn't even get anything for making this video. Ubisoft copyright claimed due to a Prince of Persia song I used. Damn. So, hey, I made this video. Feel free to react to it, but I would appreciate it if you didn't monetize it. I didn't even get anything for making this video, as Ubisoft copyright claimed is due to a Prince of Persia song I used. Also, if you have further questions... Okay, so Ubisoft, as always, did him dirty, okay? So the least we can do, guys, the least we can do to support this guy is just subscribe to him. Just subscribe, okay? I really enjoy his style of, you know, editing and stuff. If he does his editing, I don't know. But I like his video. I'm planning on watching more of them. He did not... That's really sad. This video is over 43 minutes long, okay? 43 minutes long. With amazing editing. An amazing script, okay? Give me just a sec, guys. An amazing script. And Ubisoft copyrighted it because he used a song from Prince of Persia. This is what's sad about being a YouTuber sometimes. It is so unreliable. You upload these videos, and for one thing, you're just left up to the algorithm gods to pick up your video and not get copyrighted by a company or something. Just because you use a little song. It's fucking depressing, okay? The least we can do is just support this guy, because this... I know for a fact this video, if it wasn't demonetized, it would have made a lot of money for him, okay? So the least we can do is just support this guy and watch his video, okay? That's all I'm gonna say. I'm gonna make a community post after this video as well. I'm gonna like share his stuff. It's just sad. I don't know. I'm sorry, Rixer. I'm sorry this happened to you, dude. Like, this is just sad. Luke Badman 0707. Thank you so much, man. I honestly think God of War Ragnarok is going to be till like 2023. But hey, at least The Last of Us Part 2 is coming out. Yeah, it's coming out in September, I think. Why am I watching my own thing? But yeah, I don't mind if it's delayed. I don't care anymore about the release date, man. It's depressing now. It really is, dude.
Walking to get around the trigger for the magic.
Because it could happen to me one day. It has happened. It's not just companies. It's just people claiming your videos that don't have a right to do it anyway. It's fucking depressing, dude.
The end of the video shows Kratos in Olympus with no magics or sub-weapons collected. A huge flex, yet seemingly another day in the office for Satvara. One final discovery I'll talk about for now is one I cannot believe was found in 2008. The difficulty on this skip is above anything I've mentioned prior. This is the Sacrifice Room, a room that saw some controversy when the game came out. Kratos must bring a caged soldier to the room, then burn and sacrifice him to proceed. A skip for this room didn't really seem feasible, but as we know by now, nothing stands in the way of Satvara. He uses the Blade of Artemis and Poseidon's Rage to first get out of bounds, to stand on a tiny seam outside of the level. More Blade of Artemis high jumps are used to land further along the level. And then finally, one long string of high jumps to get under the sacrifice door, where Satvara barely makes it with his last jump before running out of magic. A few years later in 2012, a new way of high jumping without Poseidon's Rage was discovered, now using Medusa's Gaze. This finally makes Satvara's old Hydra skip from years prior viable in single-segment speedruns. With Poseidon's Rage completely out of the route, this would increase the difficulty of a few of the known sequence breaks, most notably, Sacrifice Skip. A skip no one dared to use in single-segment runs until 2020, a whole 12 years after Satvara first discovered it. I mostly went over Satvara's bigger discoveries in this video, but honestly, I'm kinda scraping the tip of the iceberg. If I truly went over everything, we'd be here for hours. Viewers on YouTube saw Satvara's videos as a spectacle. His glitch videos inspired other players to try their hand at breaking God of War, and many great findings would take place in 2008 and 2009, not just from Satvara. Entering 2009, however, Satvara's video uploads would become few and far between. In March 2009, he uploaded a video demonstrating a way to cancel the Hydra's energy regeneration with extremely precise grabs, something that other players could not seem to get the hang of at the time due to its difficulty. The description of the video suddenly announced that this would be his last God of War video. In the comments, Satvara said that he was done and didn't want anything to do with the game anymore. Many community members at the time, such as Akion, Turyu, and God Mode God, were all sad to see Satvara go. He had done so much for the game, and his videos were nothing short of inspirational. As a result, the initial golden age of God of War sequence breaking would slowly fade out. Activity dwindled, and the game would have to wait for the second coming.
It's a fucking brilliant edit, dude. This guy rules.
Throughout the PS3's lifespan, the God of War games would see a handful of re-releases on the console, updating the graphics to HD and also porting over some of the PSP games that not everybody got to play. One would think this would reinvigorate some activity amongst the speedrun community, especially with a God of War 1 trophy that challenges you to beat the game in under 5 hours.
I think I got it.
There were a couple of segmented runs in 2011 and 2012 that were in the works from 2 new runners, but both of these never made it past the halfway point in the game. Someone just needed to pick up the pieces to re-spark the activity in the scene. In August 2012, the God of War Saga Collection was released, which featured God of War 1, 2, 3, Chains of Olympus, and Ghost of Sparta. A pretty ambitious release, and a certain someone would get reeled back into playing the series. After seeing how deserted the God of War speedrunning scene had become, this certain someone felt the need to revive the activity. Despite claiming that he didn't want anything to do with the game, God of War 1 still had so much left to uncover. When the game was at its most stagnant, Satvara returned to God of War. Oh yeah, Satvara was back, baby. Back with another collection of incredible skips and glitches. After already breaking the AGNC with his multiple minute-saving Hydra 3 skip, he had found 2 more to further shorten the level. The first one was a way to skip Hydra 2. In a
Yo, Publis, thank you so much for supporting the channel, man. Welcome back, dude. How you been?
Casual setting, defeating all of the harpies on the boat is required for the Hydra to pop through the wooden planks. Those same harpies could now be used for a skip to bypass the fight entirely.
Well, let me just do something, because look, even though I'm watching the video, I'm still like thinking like in the back of my mind, like the dirtiness that Ubisoft did to this guy. And look, maybe it wasn't like Ubisoft per se, like personally went like, oh, you know what, I'm gonna demonetize this video. Maybe it wasn't like that, but because, you know, YouTube has like systems that they just get picked up like that and stuff. So maybe YouTube wasn't, you know, Ubisoft wasn't personally behind the thing, but it's a freaking, it bothers me. It really does. As a fellow content creator, it bothers me. Make sure to, does he have like memberships and stuff? Like, let me see if he does. Hold on. No, I don't think he does. I don't see it here. I'm just gonna go with is it ThaRixer? Yeah, ThaRixer. I got so many tabs going on, I don't even know where I'm going. I just feel bad. Like the only thing that fucking pisses me off, man. I'm never gonna find them like that. I don't want to get out of my my other tab, so I'm making this like boomer. I'm doing it the boomer way. There you go. So I don't know, dude. That's the least we can do. Just go and support the guy. Like it fucking pisses me off. Like he put so much work into this thing, and I can't even focus on the video properly anymore because I'm just thinking about that. Like I put myself in that situation. You know, what would happen? I think it happened to Extreme Gameplays as well. He did his iceberg video, his God of War iceberg video, and it got copyright claimed or something. I don't know why.
If you stand on this chest, then wait until a harpy swoops down towards you, you can block its attack in midair, and it'll get stuck on the other side of the fence on the floor above you. With a precise grab, you can get Kratos onto the other side.
Holy shit.
This is still a very inconsistent skip even today, with your only form of aid being a very strict window of an audio cue of the harpy screaming as it's swooping towards you.
Thank you so much, Lego. I appreciate it, man.
Perfectly into Satvara's next
More
discovery.
than a year, man.
After some balancing beams and watching a cutscene, Kratos must push a box to take cover from an incoming volley of arrows. Satvara had found a way around this too. Instead of pushing the box, it was possible to reach the ledge early with a standard high jump. Comparing a skip like this to some of Satvara's earlier findings, it's easy to assume that this skip was perhaps a bit overlooked and should have been found earlier. The ledge, however, is only reachable on the PS3 version of the game. Maybe a slight porting error made Kratos' jump a tiny bit higher, allowing him to grab the ledge and save 20-odd seconds or so. This was cool and all, but Satvara still had more up his sleeve. Satvara's next discovery was quite huge, and is one that is still seeing use today. The strategy takes place in the Pandora's Guardian fight, in Challenge of Hades. Casually, you have to rinse and repeat a process of stunning the boss, then hurling logs at it to remove its armor bit by bit. Satvara had completely torn the fight to shreds. Here's how he did it. He first goes up to the crank that hurls the logs and pulls it. The first log will always miss, but what he uncovered was, if you pull the crank again at a very precise time in the cutscene, you can in fact hit the boss without doing the necessary stun logs.
What?
He does this a total of 3 times to remove all of the boss's armor.
I asked myself, can I just like, while the cutscene is playing, can I just start like pressing, like spamming R1 until I get it? Because I mean, that could be a tactic I could do, just pressing R1 until it happens. Like, that's something I could do. Just subbed, I typed, but could not find them. Yeah, just look up the link in the pinned comments in the comment there. But actually, now the box glitch can be done on the PS2 version 2 with a bit of improvisation. I can never do this boss with my younger sister in this room because he scared her. I mean, the boss is kind of scary.
The second phase in an instant. Pandora's Guardian is still wearing its chest piece, but this is merely a visual bug. Even 10 years later, this is still the fastest way of doing the fight. A small skip that saved around 15 seconds from skipping the fight in the Pandora's Temple lobby was discovered by Satvara as well around this time. This skip nearly rivals the aforementioned sacrifice skip in terms of difficulty. The skip involves ledge grabbing a sword on the upper part of the door with a precise Poseidon's Rage high jump, then making your way around the lobby from above with whatever movement techniques you have available to you. The Blade of Artemis is not yet obtained by this point in the game, so Satvara opts to use Apollo's Offensive for further distance. This technique is commonly called Apollo's Long Jump. Not an easy skip by any means, yet another discovery that I feel was ahead of its time. Satvara's ability to find new sequence breaks made it seem like he was a machine, spitting them out one by one. But you have to remember that, at the end of the day, Satvara is a human being, just like the rest of us. And an unfortunate event would strike a family member of his at the very end of 2012. Satvara's mother had suffered an unexpected life-altering stroke. Damn. Satvara slowly but surely lost interest in God of War as a result, and focused more on what was actually important: helping his mother recover. He never intended to leave the game so unexpectedly, but it's understandable that his motivation was simply not there anymore. Before disappearing from the scene, however, Satvara did drop one final bomb of a discovery, a finding that would fundamentally change the entire early game of God of War. This is the Port of Athens swimming glitch.
I've seen this one, yeah.
In God of War, Kratos can swim on water surfaces from the beginning of the game, but diving underwater is only possible after you grab Poseidon's trident, roughly halfway through the game. Both Satvara and Acheon had experimented with skipping large sections of the game.
The way he's talking about them is, is as if they were scientists and stuff. Like it's like you got Newton here, you got Leibniz or some other scientist, Kevin Bacon, the scientist, Francis Bacon. I'm pretty sure it's Francis Bacon. So he's talking about it's like, oh, Satvara experimenting with Akion. Like you have this community of people just like tweaking the speedrun. It's so well done. Like it is a documentary. I love it.
Using what's known as
let me read the comments for a little bit. You need to press R2 as soon as the bullet above the Minotaur, else the Minotaur will move out of its way. It is a pretty precise button to press. Oh, R2, okay. Oh yeah, because in God of War 1 it's R2, it's not R1. Yeah, you're right. I probably won't be able to do any of these glitches. I'm not as skilled as this, man.
Glitch. In some cases, if you can manage to get Kratos pushed beneath the water surface using certain collision, entering free diving mode is possible before grabbing the trident. This was known to be possible in Challenge of Atlas, Challenge of Hades, and Cliffs of Madness, but weren't useful or faster by any means. However, on January 1st, 2013, Satvara would once again revolutionize the speedrunning route by finding a swimming glitch in the port of Athens that saved, well, a fuck ton. Let's just put it that way. Upon reaching Athens for the first time, there's a short cutscene followed by the game creating a new checkpoint. If you're fast enough, you can grab the ledge next to the ladder leading back down into the ship's cabin as you become checkpointed. If you retry from the last checkpoint, the game lets Kratos free fall during the loading time. Since Kratos cannot activate any triggers while the game is loading, he will fall down past the loading zone all the way down to the ocean floor instead of ending up back inside the ship. Satvara is freely able to move around as if he was on solid ground, and makes his way out of bounds to a small bridge where he can get pushed downwards to activate the free diving mode. By going through the ladder at the ship, Kratos is able to elegantly swim through the air freely, to go wherever he pleases. From here on out, you can just touch the necessary loading triggers to advance the game to the next part. Port of Athens, Gates of Athens, Athens Town Square, and the Temple of the Oracle were all skipped by swimming past them. The swimming glitch can only be cancelled under certain conditions, most commonly being to touch a pool of water somewhere else in the game, which the sewers before the Desert of Lost Souls conveniently have. The Port of Athens swimming glitch is still one of the most major discoveries in the game, and is a testament to Satvara's ability to think outside of the box, even after all these years. 2013 was the last time we saw any new discoveries in God of War from Satvara. While God of War 1 is certainly Satvara's greatest body of work when it comes to sequence breaking, he has also found plenty of notable discoveries in Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time, Castlevania: Lords of Shadow, another Metroid 2 remake, and Fast RMX, just to name a few. I spoke with Satvara while researching for this video, and he wanted me to be very clear about something. His 121 run from August 2007 was, as his YouTube description says, an experiment. He wanted to see what strategies he could discover in complete isolation, and he wanted to see what time he was able to achieve with the limited knowledge of his own discoveries. It just so happens that the knowledge he possessed was greater than any other player.
Yeah.
In his own words, when I was doing the run in isolation, I didn't necessarily think I was breaking new ground.
Sorry, I'll let him finish.
Even with regen magic or the rooftop skip, I thought there could have already been something way under an hour or something, like how the game would look in 2008. That was a distinct possibility all throughout the run. I would think God of War is a popular game, selling millions of copies. Surely, there's a real speedrun community out there. And yeah, despite a logical train of thought, one of the only speedrun communities out there for God of War was the Ultimate God of War Union forum. Satvara's entrance was definitely explosive, but he felt it was necessary to hype up the run a little bit. I mean, after all, the forum users had no idea what was coming. I asked Satvara if there was still tension between himself and God Mode God after all these years. It seems to me that Satvara admires God Mode God's dedication as a leader to the God of War community and holds no grudges against the man, but does not speak to him, as the two don't share much in common outside of the game, and they're both fairly inactive. Satvara also thinks God Mode God is a troll, so there's that. Satvara did suggest that I reach out to God Mode God to get his side of the story and to see if he felt the same way. I messaged him on Game FAQs and was greeted with some pretty lengthy messages detailing his thoughts on the whole situation back then. From what I gathered, God Mode God does not discredit the work Satvara put into God of War 1, But on a more personal level, he claims there's no bad blood, as he, quote, doubt Satvara ever really cared. But God Mode God still seems to hold a grudge, and says that Satvara should not be let off the hook just because time has passed. His entry into the forum was rude, and he has no respect for Satvara. And that's where that stands as of now.
Holy crap.
If you wish to learn more about the history of God of War speedrunning and Satvara, Akion has a 2-part speedrun history series on YouTube that has a painfully low amount of views, so please go show the videos some love. Multiple segments in this video were inspired thanks to his amazing coverage. Akion is also a glitch hunter and runner who I really want to shed a bit of light on as well. He has broken so many different games it's not even funny, but just like Satvara, his greatest body of work is God of War 1. He has even written a glitch FAQ for the game that's currently over 103 pages. If Satvara didn't exist, the runner-up for most influential God of War 1 glitch hunter is without a doubt this guy. Akion and Satvara were the glitch hunting dynamic duo back in the early days. Together, they collaborated and bounced ideas between each other to discover new strategies and techniques, usually through the YouTube comment section. Akion was also invaluable in helping me learn the speedrun for God of War 1 in 2017, and provided additional help in the research for this video. Thank you for that. All this coverage would also not have been possible without the man himself. It's truly an honor to be able to cover such a rich story like his on my channel. When I asked Satvara what skips he's the most proud of, he had this to say. There are no particular skips that I'm more proud of over others, as each was found by engaging in and trusting the process. I learned to take whatever the game gave back to me, whether I liked it or not. Sequence breaking doesn't actually break the game. It merely uncovers the truth of what was always there. Looking back, as an individual player, I think I could have done better. Still, what's most important...
The most epic anime feud, yeah, God Mode God versus Satvara. It's just interesting how at least ThaRixer is portraying this whole thing happening. It's like, oh, it's just... I see these guys as really intellectuals of the speedrunning community. Like, they know how to do this stuff. They're experts in this stuff. And it's insane. I don't know. I love this video so much.
Is that I learned a great deal about speedrunning and sequence breaking through God of War, as well as from my interactions with the community, especially Akion, who is one of the most skilled glitchers I've had the privilege of working with. In the end, all I can do is contribute what I can, when I can, and hope I inspire others to do even better.
Bro still hates him after 14 years.
Satvara set a standard for what was possible in the world of glitching and sequence breaking, but he believes better is always possible. All it takes is the right player with the right mindset to elevate the game to the next level. But as it stands right now, Satvara's work in God of War 1 is definitely the most prolific. The magnitude of his impact extends all the way up until our modern year of 2022. If we closely analyze the current single segment world record by Traj, one can find that 25 out of a total 41 skips were initially found and weaponized by Satvara. You can safely say that 60% of the run is directly influenced by a single individual, who all found the skips 10 or more years ago. 60% is already crazy enough, but had Satvara kept playing, who knows where that statistic would lie. A game that took almost 3 hours to complete in a speedy setting is now down to a third of that, and who knows how much further it could be pushed with its seemingly infinite potential. Satvara really exploited this game through and through, at a time when breaking games to this level of advancement was not very present online. His goal all along was to fundamentally change the way speedrunners ran and how sequence breakers broke, and I hope this video will spread awareness to that exact goal. He was a man dead set on playing outside of the parameters of the game, all to showcase the beauty that is God of War. It just so happens that in the process, he broke the game in half.
Dude, this video, man. First of all,
thanks for watching. If you like the content, please consider subscribing and supporting me on Patreon. Take care, and have a good one.
Okay. Does he have another channel? Yeah, he does. So the way I see Satvara is like this Einstein figure, like Einstein in the speedrunning community. Like, everybody was doing, they were important. They were doing the little contributions to speedrunning the game and whatnot. It was interesting. Like, it was cool and all that. But then Satvara came with a theory of relativity and just blew it out of the water, man. It's like, no, man, space is freaking bendable and crap. space and time are connected. Like it's the same, but for God of War. Like he changed the game completely. I was aware of the whole swimming glitch thing. I don't know how to do it still, but I was aware of that. I didn't know it was him. Like, it's freaking crazy. Now we have to get to the more important topic, and I've been talking about this since I found out. You need to subscribe to this guy. I'm gonna be pissed if you guys don't subscribe to this guy. Okay, I don't even know how many subs did he have when we started. I don't know. It really, I have to talk about this. Okay, it's really painful what happened to him. This is one of the best videos I've seen on YouTube. Not just like one of the best God of War videos I've ever seen. It's definitely up there with the other God of War video. What is it called? I forgot what it's called. Like that's the one that's about the story. God of War story. It's really popular as well. Untangling God of War. It's like up there, okay? And it's got like about the same amount of view. It's up there in quality. This video, it's so freaking good. The editing, the comedy, okay? The information, how he freaking does it. The iceberg video is really good too, extreme gameplay, so don't get me wrong, okay? It's such a good video. And then for a little thing, is there something hanging? Yeah. And then just because of a little thing in his video, a song he used from Prince of Persia, it got demonetized. All that work, not went into nothing, but it's painful. Because I did a video that was like 20 minutes long and there was a lot of editing in it, right? And I would have been heartbroken if that video got demonetized. Because I don't know if this is his full-time job or not, but holy crap, man. This is so sad. Like he, just go and subscribe to the guy. Just do it. I'm going to make a community post as well. See if I can spread some awareness, because it's just sad what YouTube does to content creators sometimes, because I'm sure he reached out and they did nothing. This is... I personally boycotted Ubisoft for over a year ago for how trash they and their games are. Yeah, look, yeah, of course Ubisoft, they have something to do with it, right? But it's mostly YouTube, just their problem with not being able to communicate with their content creators. And that's a sad thing. Like, if we learned anything about the Ackman situation in the last couple of weeks, is that no matter how big you are, YouTube doesn't care unless 50 of these, million subscribers channels start leaving, right? One channel that has 1 million subs leaving is not gonna make a difference to YouTube. Imagine what ThaRixer or me, John Ford, any of these guys who are like lower level, sub count YouTubers, right? We mean nothing to them. We have the same value as someone who has 0 subscribers. We really do, okay? And not much me, but these people, man, I do put work into it, but some people do put a lot of work into their videos, right? And it's sad when it gets demonetized for the wrong reasons, right? So the least we can do, guys, is just subscribe to him, okay? Watch his other videos. If you like speedrunning, just watch his videos. I'm sure his editing and, comedy is on, like, it's the same throughout the videos. I'm planning on watching all of them. I found this really interesting, so I want to watch is that Halo? No, Jak and Daxter, Sly Cooper. It's fucking sad, man. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. This was fun. Now, we said we were gonna talk about a little bit of what's happening tomorrow. I don't know what's happening tomorrow. Let me check Twitter real quick. Let me see where we're at. Let me see if something happened. What is this? No, I understand what he means by it. I understand what he means by not monetizing it, because it would be wrong for me to get money on his video just by reacting to it. He's not getting any money out of it, right? So I totally understand that. I gladly demonetized the video. To me, it was just a fun experience. I got to hang out. I'm not mad about demonetizing the video. Don't worry about that. But let me see if this guy apparently quit YouTube. Like, the whole Twitter community is just blowing up. Let me see if Corey hasn't tweeted anything. Now there's a rumor that we're gonna get a blog post tomorrow, and if they do make a blog post, this is gonna be like the weirdest marketing for the game. It's not weird, it's effective, but I don't know, dude. I'm telling you, Kuba, tomorrow we will get a blog post. Ironically, Mr. Beast doesn't give a F about video monetization. Well, I'm sure he's got like Patreon and crap like that, doesn't he? I don't know. Corey replied to something? Where? I don't know where he replied though. I don't see it. I don't see anything. Did you see the Dark Viper's video on reactors? No, I haven't. No, you missed the first part of that conversation, Kuba. Oh, I'm sorry. We could get a playable demo from PS Plus Premium. I mean, that would be cool. Credits to the Inevitable. That would be cool. I would be down to play a demo, obviously. And they have to utilize PlayStation Plus now. Like, if I worked at Sony, if I was someone at Sony, that's what I would do. I mean, if I was confident the game is gonna be good and people are gonna like it, that's what I would do. I would put a demo or a trial on PlayStation Plus and just let people play it for a little bit. You know, it's good advertisement, and it also, you know, promotes PlayStation Plus itself. People get to buy it as well. They released a date for God of War via blog post for God of War 2, if I remember. I don't remember that. I don't. That doesn't sound familiar though. I tagged you? Okay, give me a sec. I wonder what God of War Ragnarok Collector's Edition will contain. Well, okay, what's the guy's name? Tom something? Tom Henderson? I think it's Henderson. Yeah, I think where this talk about the Collector's Edition is coming from is the fact that this guy said... Yeah, he said, Santa Monica / Sony right now preparing to announce something to give God of War fans some life. And there's a gif of Endgame, right? And below it he said, collect the hints out there and you can piece together what will be announced soon. It's... If this guy is right, and I don't know. I don't know, dude. I'm tired of, you know, industry insiders. I've had it. In a way, I'm kind of tired of God of War Ragnarok. I want the game to release. So I'm done with this stupid hype. I'm so done with it. I just want to play the game. I don't want to talk about release dates or anything like that. But if we are to take what this guy says seriously, it seems like they're going to announce the collector's edition tomorrow and maybe the release date in that blog post. That would be pretty good, okay? But I'm still not the happiest about a blog post, okay? To me, it sounds... It's scary. It makes it scary because it seems like they don't want to show the game. And then I ask myself, why don't they want to show the game, okay? Maybe it's because, you know, they're saving it as a surprise. But maybe it's because it's a mess. I don't know anymore, okay? I just hope we're not in for a Fallout 76 situation here, okay? Imagine if the game releases tomorrow. I highly doubt it. If they do that, they would be pretty stupid. I'm just saying that now. We have to keep in mind that they're gonna do pre-orders, so they will have to announce something soon. That's what I mean. Like, it'd be pretty stupid if they just come out with the game tomorrow. They're not gonna do that. I'm 99.9% positive that they're not gonna do that. Okay, like Publius says, we need to. They need to do some marketing so people get the pre-orders and stuff. There's no way they're gonna do that. Just tell us, damn it. It's not official, so keeps expectations down. Oh, no, I'm not even keeping them down. I'm not keeping them at all. I'm gonna go about my day. I'm gonna go do grocery shopping today. I'm gonna play some Dead Space. I'm gonna play some Darksiders. I'm having a lot of fun with Darksiders right now, to be honest. And I'm just gonna forget about God of War 4 today. Like, this is all I was gonna do, God of War. I'm making another video for Sunday. I'm doing my YouTube channel as if God of War is not gonna get shown tomorrow, okay? I don't care anymore. It's boring. This talk about release date, I'm freaking tired of that. It's not fun anymore. If Sony wants me to do their marketing, they can count me out of it. I'm not gonna do it anymore. I'm not gonna be getting excited about 3 dots Corey Barlock posts on Twitter. I love Corey, but I'm not gonna do that anymore. Yeah, just go on with your life, and if anything happens, we will know. Yeah. Because, you know, deep down you have that thing that, oh, I'm going to stay awake all night waiting for news. And I'm like, no, that's stupid. I was thinking about doing like a members hangout as well. Just playing God of War game all night until the release date. That's freaking insane. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go to sleep and then wake up to some news or maybe not. It doesn't matter. I'm gonna play some God of War 1, 2, and 3 and try to beat all of them in the hardest difficulty. It's like you're doing a rain dance. You're playing God of War, so God of War gets shown. I'm just tired of all this hype. I'm with you, Skynet. I'm with you, man. Maybe you should send a Terminator to kill the... Okay, I don't know where this joke was going. I know a little bit about Terminator, but that's about it. Kuba acting like he's not gonna get the game earlier than the rest of us. Okay, look, I don't know. Maybe I will. If I do, I'll be thankful. But if not, it's okay. I'm gonna buy it. Okay, I'm gonna save enough money to buy the collector's edition, regardless whether they give me a game or not. Because I'm sure they're not gonna send me the collector's edition, or I don't know if they're gonna send me a normal version, right? But I'm definitely gonna get the collector's edition one way or another. God of War isn't real. It's fabricated. It is, man. It is. It's just zeros and ones. It's code. Anyway. I'm going to be out of here for now, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Once again, go and subscribe to ThaRixer, man. I already did. I have it on Notify Me, so I know when he uploads. What YouTube did to him is dirty. Just go and watch his videos. If you like speedrun especially, just go and support the guy, okay? It's freaking sad. But anyway, I'll see you guys later. Until then, remember,